Hi, welcome to this mini course on separation anxiety in a holistic view. My idea with this course, with this mini video, is just to give you some food for thought about what separation anxiety in dogs is, what isn't, and what can we do to help our dogs besides the door training. There is so much that we need to consider when we are thinking about these dogs that I think it is important to address this and help your dogs live and you live a better life, because I know how stressful and really energy draining separation anxiety is. So, first of all, about me, my name is Daisy. I'm originally from Brazil, but I live in Germany, in Köln, in the city of Cologne. Um, and and it's here that I am licensed and certified. For the people who don't know, dog training business here in Germany is regulated, so you need to go through a certain things to be able to work with dogs. So I had to take courses, practical and theory tests and shadowing too. So in Brazil, I was a teacher. I have a PhD in literature, in Russian literature, but I decided that really the academic life is not for me. So then I changed to dog photography, and now I'm here as a dog trainer because I think that I can help so much more people with separation anxiety. That is really my thing, especially because my dog had it too. So I know exactly how draining and stressful and frustrating it is. And I think I missed the nerdy part of dealing with dogs. So photography um, was a way of changing careers, but not the goal, never was the goal. So let's start by talking about what separation anxiety really is. So it is a panic disorder where they experience extreme distress and fear when left alone or separated from their primary caregivers, manifesting as destructive chewing, excessive barking, howling, house soiling, escape attempts, panting, pacing, or self-injury. So it is a phobia when we think about that, because when we say separation anxiety, it seems like the dog is just anxious, and no, it's panic. It's full-blown panic. So then we can address a little bit better when we change our perspective. So what separation anxiety is not? It is not because your dog is spoiled. It's not lack of obedience. It's not because the dog is trying to get revenge. It's not solved by letting the dog cry. It's not cured by buying more Kong toys or other dogs. It's a fear response. And of course, there are some dogs that actually haven't really learned how to be alone. But this is something different. Usually puppies. It is important to teach and in a safe way, in a predictable and safe way for the dogs, that it's okay for them to be alone for a while. But this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about dogs that really have panic attacks. Yeah. So, like I said, getting another dog usually doesn't help. Why? Because separation anxiety is extreme distress when the dog is separated from the owner, so from someone, a person. So the presence of other animals does not alleviate the distress. This was said in this research paper here under below, and I can guarantee that it won't help your dog. Sometimes it may even get worse because then you have two anxious dogs. So risk factors. This is like really complicated because it's a condition that we don't really know much. So some research paper said that single adult household dogs are more likely to have separation anxiety than multi-adult homes dogs. So then do we need to buy another dog? But it won't work anyway. And then other papers say that neuter dogs are more likely to have separation anxiety. And then other dogs say that dogs from shelters are more prone to separation anxiety dogs, but other papers say that German Shepherds and herding breeds are more prone to separation anxiety. So the truth is, we don't really know, besides the thing that it's being genetic. This is something that we know for sure. My dog, for example, him and his brother from the same litter had separation anxiety. So it's something that is it's definitely genetic, but we don't know much yet. So, but why? What else influences a dog having separation anxiety? It can be, like I said, genetics and epigenetics. Like some dogs are born with a sensitive nervous system that is passed throughout the mother. Early experiences sometimes. Stress during puppyhood, poor maternal care, so they have an insecure attachment style to the father or mother figure, and this replicates to the guardians. It can be, like I said, past instability, like a rescue, but we don't know yet. Like I said, some papers suggest that shelter dogs are prone to that. Some others that some specific breeds. So we don't really know, but big life changes can trigger this, like moving, family loss, or routine changes. And this we've seen in during COVID, that many dogs had problems after the world was open again, to adapt to being alone again. Yes. So what not to do doing with your dog who has separation anxiety. So don't let the dog cry. Don't use punishment. Don't leave him alone for more time than he can cope with. And don't get random advices from Facebook groups, because your dog is unique. You need to think about your dog, not only regarding separation anxiety, but in other contexts too. I'm going to give you some food for thought about that. So, and don't assume your dog will grow out of it. Usually, dogs with separation anxiety, they will get worse. So, just keep that in mind. So the most common signs, vocalization, yeah, like barking, whining, howling after you leave, this destruction, so doors, floors, windows, crates, anything, attempts to escape, following you everywhere inside the home. This is not normal. So this usually means that not only you will have to work on the other aspects of your dog's routine and behavior and personality, the door training, which is like opening, closing the door, of course, but you will have to work with this dog inside your home, because this dog cannot be left alone in the house, yeah, in another room. So you will need to consider that you will have to train him, for example, to go to the mat, and then you build duration and value to this mat that he will have to go, and then you will build on duration on that. So for the dog to understand that he doesn't have to follow you everywhere you go, like you go to the toilet, the dog goes too. If you close the door, the dog cries out. So this means that this type of dog, they are not ready to start the outside training, the door training. You need to start at home with the mat, okay? So thinking about, oh, yeah, another thing that I forgot. So pacing, trembling, drooling when you prepare to leave. Those dogs that are already anxious when you get your shoes, your keys, when you put on makeup. With my dog, makeup was a huge trigger. And extreme excitement or frantic greetings when you return. Does this mean that a dog that is happy that you're back has separation anxiety? No, of course not. But that means that when we are training this dog for separation anxiety, when we start this separation anxiety training, we'll have to be very careful with the greetings when we come back. Usually, we want neutral or no greetings when you come back, because we don't want to teach this dog that you are finally home. So, oh my God, you're giving so much importance for the time you're back. That's not what we want. So more on that. Like I said, a dog that pees in the house. Yes. And then you say, oh, this is because of his separation anxiety. I'll have to change this again. So you need to clearly think about the ABCs of behavior. What is ABCs? Is the antecedent, what happened before the behavior, then the behavior, and then the consequence. What do I mean by that is, imagine a dog that, I'm gonna put it here. Imagine a dog that is toileting inside when you left the dog alone, yes? But then he's doing that also when you are at home. So is it really because of separation anxiety, or because he doesn't really know that he's not supposed to to pee inside the house? So we need to think about the context. So, for example, toilet inside the house. Is it just when the dog is alone? Is when the guardian A lives? What about the guardian B? Did the dog go potty before being left alone? Does the dog always choose to do this at the same place? This usually gives us some hints about what is going on. So we need to think about everything that is happening, if it's really contingent to separation anxiety, or if there is something else underneath. And also, people say, oh, is it revenge? Like he knows he did something bad. You know, those viral videos that the dogs destroy the house and looks guilty, and people think it's, oh, they know what they did. Actually, no, they were in full-blown panic, that they needed to release that kind of stress, or they wanted to escape, and then they did that. The dogs in general, they can't connect past actions to your anger hours later. They can't. They simply can't. But what they can do is look at you and see your posture, your tone of voice, see that you're disappointed. And then they do some like appeasing signals to make you calmer, like, Mom, it's okay. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. I'm a good boy. So that's what they are doing. So what separation anxiety it isn't. It's not because he's spoiled, like I said. It's not lack of obedience. It's not the dog trying to get revenge. It's not solved by letting the dog cry out. It's not cured by buying more Kong toys. Like I said again, we have to think about all of this. And behavior is an iceberg. So what people focus on, separation anxiety training, yeah, opening, closing the door. But what is under the surface? The daily needs that must be met, physical exercise appropriate for the age, for the breed, yeah, for your specific dog, mental enrichment, play and joyful interaction, social needs, predictability and routine, sleep and rest, good nutrition, safe environment, overall stress reduction, and more important, pain. I'm going to comment on some things on that I think it's important. First of all, sleep. How many hours does your dog sleep during the day and during the night? And ideally, the dog should sleep around 10 and 14 hours a day, okay? Because some people think that, oh, my dog should be doing things. No, dogs need to sleep. And if they are not sleeping, that means that something's wrong. It can mean that this dog is in pain, he has disease, or simply lack of exercise, boredom. He needs something else. Yes. So it's sleep is one thing. And if your dog's not sleeping enough, you should consult your vet. So now imagine you are home without Netflix, without TV, without smartphone, without books, the whole day. How would you feel? So your dog needs activities appropriate to his level of energy, breed, and age. Yes. Many behavioral issues start here and then escalate. So activities and breed. That is why it's really important to think, okay, now you have this dog, but like for the next one, I mean, you need to think about the breed, the dog breed you're getting. Because let me put it here and then you can see the boy, the good boy. You need to think about, you need to consider if you have the appropriate time, if you have enough time for this breed, if you have the lifestyle for this breed. But now that you have, you need to, or even if it's a mix, you can do like DNA tests to understand your dog's breed, and this will indicate what kind of things should you do to help this dog. So, but some tips, some general tips, like what is this breed genetically bred to do? So then you can choose an activity that is similar to that or can replicate that. For example, the herding dogs, they are really good at look at the guardian's body language because they were supposed to do what they were told to do. So flirt pole, agility, obedience are great. Terriers, digging or nose work are great for them. And decompression walks off leash if safe or with a long line if it's not safe. Weekly is wonderful for all dogs. And nose work too. If you do nose work and decompression walks with your dog weekly, I'm sure your dog will feel much better. So more on pain. Dogs hide pain. But then you can say, oh, he's walking fine. My vet didn't find anything. Usually dogs, when they are under stress, they don't show signs. So you can say like, oh, but at home he's showing the signs, but during the vet visit he didn't. Yes, dogs are great at that. That is why I always recommend going to a physio and a vet, both, because usually physio can check pain much better than vets. They are not so specialized in this. Another thing about separation anxiety dogs is that many of them have also noise phobia. There is a huge correlation between noise phobia and separation anxiety. About 50% of the dogs who have separation anxiety also have noise phobia. So is your dog always stressed at home? It is important to do some management. So brown noise is better than white, okay? And speaker with a good bass, with a good subwoofer is fantastic to mask those sounds like fireworks and everything. What else can you do? You can close doors and windows for visual and sound barrier. So there are things that you can do. You can, for example, use your Alexa throughout your house with brown noise during the day, and then you can buffer a little bit more. Agency. So can your dog say no and yes? Having your emotions respected improves the bond between guardian and dog. When the dog knows that he can trust you, you will have a better communication and bond and relationship. So it is crucial. Okay, we cannot always say yes to the dog, to our dog. Sometimes we have to say no. But how can we let our dogs have a little bit of more agency? We can let them choose how to play, choose their route on walkies, for example, and respect when they want to be petted or when they don't want to be petted. And routine. Having a routine makes us humans and dogs less stressed. Think about us. When we have so many new things happening, we're stressed. But when our routine is always the same, our brain goes into pilot mode. Yes, and it's the same with dogs. So how can you do that? With meal time, with training, with sleep, with a safe zone for the dog, that it's always in the same place, so he knows that his crate or his bed, the place that he likes to sleep the most, is the same, and it's always quiet, and nobody will disturb him there. Another thing is to spread the love. If your dog just has you in your life, it will be very hard for him to understand that when you leave, it is not a big deal. So it's important for you to try to find other people that your dog can trust. So then you're going to spread a little bit his friend circle with dogs and people. If your dog is reactive to other people, are there, I don't know, women that he likes the most? There is a way of doing this slowly, progressively in your dog's threshold to help him have more people that he can love and trust. So underlying emotional states. Then recent research suggests that separation anxiety is not a single diagnosis, but might be better understood as a symptom of deeper underlying emotional states like fear, frustration, boredom. So it is a combination of things, and we need to think about that when we are trying to address it, because it's the why. Remember when I said about the ABCs, the antecedent, behavior, and consequence? Though, so this is this. We need to understand why the dog is doing that. So a little bit more on that. The fear response starts way before the barking and scratching. Usually the subtle signs are missed. Dogs who start crying when the owner leaves after 15 minutes usually present stress signals before that. So usually you can say, oh, but my dog can stay 15 minutes alone, and then he starts crying, so he can tolerate 15 minutes. Usually no. When you see in the video, you're going to see that your dog is showing some subtle stress signs before that you haven't addressed, that you haven't realized, and that is why your training is not working. So the training has to start before the stress signals, even the small ones, and that is when a professional can help you. Have you tried to desensitize your dog to your departures and it didn't work? So maybe that's why you miss some important stress signals and the dog is panicking before, even before, yeah? So you need to think about that. And that it's why a professional can help you read your dog's body language even before the bark. And sometimes medication will be crucial. With my dog in specific, I said, no, training is enough, and it wasn't. And then once I put him on medication, training was so much easier and faster. And now he's not on medication anymore. It's not something that will be for life, but it is important for some dogs, and it's always used together with training, not just medication. Medication itself alone won't cure separation anxiety. So a quick self-assessment checklist. Does your dog panic when you leave? Does your dog show signs of stress before you even go out? Is it getting worse? Does he seem unable to settle, even with toys, food, or chews? Does he hurt himself or pees in the house? If you're saying yes to two of these things or more, this is a strong indicator that your dog may have separation anxiety. So separation anxiety, like I said, it's complex. There is no easy and quick fix. We need to see the dog as a whole, and otherwise it won't work. So what actually helps is training based on safety and predictability, step-by-step desensitization at the dog's pace, managing absences before the dog is ready. So not leaving your dog alone because he can't cope with that. And he can't learn new things, and he cannot learn that he's safe, that he can be safe at home alone if he's constantly being alone and in full-blown panic. So he has to regain the trust to being home alone. And this will only happen if he's not alone. So you have to reduce also the overall stressors, like I said, the noise, other dogs, I don't know, visual stressors, anything that contributes to your dog being stressed at home. And then you have to review the training videos for body language, considering the subtle stress signals that the dog can present. And you need to see the dog as a complex human being, no, as a dog, as a complex being that needs more than dog training. Like I said before, there are so many things that we have to consider. So for you, I have two homeworks that are two games for you to play with your dog, that it's beside the separation anxiety training. But these two games can help a little bit your dog to understand that it's okay to be alone and you will come back. So it's a ping pong recall and the hide and seek. And I have the PDF files link in the description of this video. So if you want to know more, you can book your consultation, the initial assessment too, where we will talk about your dog's routine, your dog breed, your lifestyle as a whole, your family. I'm going to ask so many questions, but we're going to address what is going on for your dog to behave like your dog is behaving, and then we can start training. So I hope to see you there.